we're hitting the moment where you're kind of getting the economic singularity, where the technology is finally here that makes capitalism not make sense anymore. And at that point, you could go in two directions. We've hit that potential Star Trek world, right? Where people don't really have to work as much. We're not at the point where no one would have to work, but we're at the point where the technology could feasibly start to take the burden off of humanity, and you start to get a more communist kind of a system and a universal basic income and something more along those lines. The other direction you could go with this technology is feudalism, right? Where you have what labor you need, you barely pay for, and you just have a beaten, suppressed population ruled over by a narrow, incredibly wealthy and privileged aristocracy. That's what these people are building here. The other direction is socialism. And I think part of the urgency with which they're building this is because these are not dumb guys. They know that. They know this technology. The natural implication of it is the dismantling of capitalism. You dismantle capitalism, they lose the only thing they care about: power, privilege, and status. That's all these people care about. That's all they run on.
Right.
All this money they have, most of it's on paper. They don't feel it. Doesn't really affect them. It's in principle. That's why they're going after more tax cuts for money they don't need and would never even notice when it's deposited in their bank account. It's a mindset. It's a mindset to take as much as possible from everybody else and concentrate it all into their hands, which also at this moment in history is defensive. They don't want people empowered. They don't want people to be able to use this technology to liberate themselves from being members of the laboring class, from having to sweat and live in fear and stress about how they're going to feed their families. They don't want that world to end. Their power relies on that world continuing.